All right. Good morning, folks. Welcome in. It's it's a day late and a dollar short House Edge live show for you from Johnny's house here, Casino Gaming TV. Sorry about yesterday, but we've been having some issues with the puppies again. So I had another run to the vet on Sunday, and then yesterday morning we were up almost all night with one of our dogs. So it is what it is. I was tired, I overslept, and there's that. So I missed Veterans Day, which of course sucks. So my belated thank you. To all the veterans, and of course, you know how I feel about the vets. All love, all Godspeed, all the prayers for you guys. Thanks for all you do for us. Let's see. What do we want to talk about today? I got a couple of things that are kind of brewing over here, so I want to kind of get in there and address them really quick. But before I do, as you know, we're going to talk bridge really quick because, as always, right, I will probably do a little bit of table play today. I think I might play some Horsemen today, actually, just for some fun. And just a reminder, you know, I said the other day there are channels out there that are breathing fire, right? Some of them are really good, some of them are really bad, right? You've got to watch everything with a filter. You just do. You just have to. It's like the news, right? It's like, where do you get your news from? One of the big three cable networks, your local, the newspaper. Everything comes with a grain of salt. You got to filter it through the lens with which you're watching it. There are nuggets of truth everywhere. Yeah. But largely, it's a lot of BS. As you're watching me, as you're watching others, make sure that you say, that looks pretty fun. I would do that. But how does my bankroll fit it, right? Do I have that kind of risk? Does that thing I'm watching present a good opportunity for me to leave? Do I have the discipline to execute? Those are the kind of things that I want to talk about. And yes, Skilled, I'm going to get on this here in just a second. So give me a second on that. Anyway, let's jump ahead really quick and let's talk about what Skill brought up, because it was on my list already today anyway, to get through some of this stuff with the raffles. So here's the deal with the raffles. Gargoyle put up the felt, he put 3 felts, you can pick one, right? $50 raffle tickets. And we set a reserve price on that of $2,500. Okay. Which meant that we needed, I don't know, let's do some quick math. $2,500 divided by $50 is 50 people to bid on it. Well, we only had 20. So we didn't meet the reserve price. Now, what I said was, I may have said this in private to him, but not to you guys. And the same thing happened with the heavy and with the absinthe, right? We're still, none of those 3 hit the reserve that we had set for them. But I said that one of 2 things would happen. I would either close it, pause it, reopen it, and I will do that. I'm going to close. The raffles have been closed for a while. I'll reopen them here in a couple of weeks. We'll do another little push and see if we can't get some final donations for those things, to push the numbers up. If we can, great. If not, I will personally meet the reserves. So if the felts are $1,500 light, I'll put the $1,500 in. If the absinthe is $1,000 light, I'll put the grand in. If heavy sting is, I think heavy sting is like $800 light, I'll put the $800 in. Whatever we don't meet, I will put that in as my second personal donation to the cause, right? I'm going to make sure that we meet the reserves no matter what. I can't do it today. I'm not in a position to do it right now, but I will do that. So we will have a drawing at some point here in the next month or 2 on those items. When the reserve is met, it'll either be met by me or met by a surge in donations coming up. But I think, you know, part of the problem is that we all get kind of burnt out on the whole thing. We all get burnt out after a while of hearing me talk about it. So I think a pause is in order. We'll come back to it. I'll do some live shows when my table's rebuilt, and we'll do some fundraising during live shows. I'm going to rekindle it up and try and get that reserve met. There's no reason we had to do it that one day. If we can meet the reserve by, you know, Christmas or whatever, then fantastic. We'll do it like that. I'm just going to keep them open and keep them running. But yeah, if we don't get to the number, I'll make sure we hit the number. I made that promise early on, and we'll just do it. And hey, if I have to put a couple $1,000s into it, I guess I get 2 more hours with Bo, right? That's how that'll work. Bo Parker will hook me up with a couple hours of training. So it'll be worth it in the long run for sure. So that's your update there. The other thing we should probably talk about is last night's show. And I'm remiss because I haven't watched the full episode with Ed and Jeff yet. They had some audio issues. I know that. I got to go back and rewatch some of that because he had the woman on that Ed had trained at the last Casino Tiers event and had a great session. I mean, he was telling them a phone about her, like, you know, she never really gets to green or black chips ever in her normal betting life. He's kind of changed, and they worked on that, and she got to collect her first purple chip at the table with them. has a good toss, but doesn't have the betting yet, right? And I think when you do some of these clinics, and I want to speak to everybody out there when I say this, because I know there are people who think that, and again, let's go through the bridge filter stuff, right? There are people out there who think that if you're taking lessons from somebody, you're a shill. If somebody's giving lessons, they're a charlatan, and all this is a bunch of hooey bullshit, right? Those people can F right the hell off, as far as I'm concerned. That's not what it's about, right? Sometimes these things, and Lou, you can back me up on this. You have been there, right? I'm going to put your message back. You've been to the Casino Tears event, right? It's not a money grab, right? It's a hangout session. You get to drink and hang with all the players and Ed and Bo. You play with them at the tables, right? It's a whole thing. Plus the sessions that you're working on, they're not giving you the golden touch. We're going to make you a professional craps player promise horseshit, right? They're looking at what you do and say, look, do you want to be a better thrower or not? And if you don't want to be, they don't care. You can just watch that part of the session and you can be a better or a dealer during it, right? If you want to learn to be a better, right? It's just about having the camaraderie and the wisdom of some people that have been there before to say, look, I see a hole in your game. You're afraid to do this. Let's work on that with you. You do this a little too aggressively. You're missing out on this part of the game. And they're opening people's eyes. It's like watching my show every day. If you watch my show every day for 5 years, you've probably learned hopefully a little something. In those sessions, you learn a lot of something because you're watching questions and answers and seeing things with real chips, and that's what it's about, right? It's about the experience. You should totally do that. She benefited greatly from that, right? I think, and I've been to a heavy seminar. Dorcel 8, I'm sure, is out here somewhere today. He's been to a heavy seminar. He will tell you it's not a magic pill. These guys aren't selling you snake oil. They're literally out there looking at your game and going, oh man, you're missing this, or we can work on that. And again, like the bridge, enhance your experience at the table. It would really suck to go to the table every day not knowing what the hell you're doing and just guessing at it, right? These kind of classes that Heavy and Tony Leo and Bo Parker and the Casino Tears group runs are that. It's my show. It's their shows in a microcosm or micro format rather, to get it to you quickly and let you just kind of experience a game better, right? That's what it's all about. So I know there's people that are really negative on that stuff, and I wanted to call that out because I know Ed talked a lot about the Casino Tears event and how she benefited from that. Everybody can benefit from these things. If you get a chance to go to one, right? If nothing else, it's a trip with people that are on Team U, and that's an important thing to, I think, experience. So you should all get out there and if you can do it, for sure do it. I think it's great. The experience is the proper term for it. That's what it's all about, Lou. It's the experience of being there, and you get to glean off others' experiences at the same time. So totally should do that. Now, as far as last night goes, another great show. And again, I apologize because I'm like the worst friend ever. I swear to God. I love Jeff. I love G. I love Ed. I love all you guys, right? And Joe and Craig and Chris and Jen and all you, big hugs, right? I don't call anybody. I suck at calling people. So and when I watch the shows, I'm like, damn, I got to call those guys because I just miss them so much. And I know that Ed's Jeff is sick and all that kind of stuff. So it's just good to kind of just. Last night I was able to sit here. I was working. I worked till like 2:00 in the morning again last night on the app. But I put the show on. I had it on live over here on the corner and listened to them talk while I worked. And I put a couple chats in there. It was fantastic. You talk about wisdom and experience. G is a wealth of and a fountain of that. He knows, and again, he's been through the ringer, right? He is the guy that had a major gambling problem that he's talked to us about. He worked through it, right? And I know people will say, "Oh my God, he worked through his problem by learning how to be a better gambler." That's not the story. The story is he got his mind right. His mind was in the wrong spot, right? And he leans into the mental stuff more than anybody I know, right? He looks at DI as a how do I say this right? As a, not experience is the wrong word, but he looks at it as like a life choice. And it's not just set, grip, throw, right? It's the whole thing. It's the discipline of getting up and practicing. It's getting your breath right. It's getting it's feeling the rhythm, right? He He's full of wisdom, that guy. And listening to him kind of talk tosses, it's great. The one piece of advice that I think he gave last night that I got to repeat today, and it's, if you didn't see it, go watch it. But the thing to learn from him, if you're going to be a tosser, and again, you don't have to be a good dice thrower to win at craps. It's nice. It's a good help. It's whatever. If you can influence the variance, like Duracell says, that's just an enhancement of it, right? But his big advice last night was have multiple tosses. Don't just be like me, the chopper guy. I actually have a couple of throws that I do, right? The chopper is my main throw. But if I'm not in my spot and I'm not comfortable, I've got a couple other ones that I like a little bit better. I think it's important to find a couple different things you can do to be comfortable, because I think at the table, your comfort level is important. If you're not comfortable in your own skin at the table, that doesn't make you lose, but it makes you have a worse experience. It may make you have or make poor decisions. You follow me? So being comfortable, DI is about, in Gargoyle's mind, being comfortable in the moment and having all your tools, your throw and your betting skills and your vision and your heartbeat, all that stuff sort of walking in the same direction. And so having multiple throws helps with that, because if I get stuck at stick right 3, which I don't like, or around the hook or the end, I don't like it down there, right? But I've got throws that I've learned. I'm not perfect at them, of course, but throws that I've learned that I can do from down there that I feel a little more comfortable in the moment. Do they produce better? I don't know, but I feel better throwing them. And that's the point of it, is feel better doing what you're doing. And he also gave good advice on adjustments, right? The table surfaces is the thing we always talk about. It's not hard to adjust to a table surface. It's not hard. What's hard to do for that is practice it, because you can't simulate all the surfaces. But, a little bit of lower height, a little bit more velocity. It's the first time I ever heard somebody say use more velocity on a lower throw on a bouncy surface to kind of get them to pop off that back wall and correct themselves coming off. That's an interesting way to look at a way to attack that. So go back and watch that. And sort of, like I say all the time, when you watch Gargoyle, you have to watch him a couple of times because he does bounce around a little bit. And Jeff, by the way, does a great job of following him with the cameras as he bounces around. But watch him a couple of times and take some notes. Every time that guy speaks, you should be taking notes, because he's got, like I said, he's a wealth of knowledge. And it takes a minute to really understand what he's saying, pause it, rewind it, write it back down again. It's like going to tossing school when you listen to him talk. But the big thing you should get from those two is their passion for the game. They love the game. Ed loves the game. I love the game. It's awesome, right? That's the magic of these shows, right? Our shows, I think, exemplify Joe, and obviously Joe, exemplify love for the game, right? Some of the newer channels, I don't believe love the game. I think they're out there to make money. I think they make channels to make YouTube money. And I don't need to see your wife's tits while you're throwing the dice. I'll just put that out there. That's not why I'm watching the show. I'm watching to find a new nuance to the game. So why don't we just go ahead and grow up a little bit and play well and teach well. All right. That's my LFG for this morning. Let's play a little bit of crap. So I'm going to run down here. I got actually today's kind of an interesting day. I'm going to leave early because I'm not doing betting patterns today. We're going to leave early today from the show because I've got my wife's birthday today. I got to go buy her some coffee. I got to get out to Starbucks and get her a coffee before she wakes up. So as soon as we get done here, I'm out the door. All right, let's switch to the desktop view. Browser desktop layout. There it is. And here we go. For the love of the game. Great baseball movie. Oh my goodness gracious. Bob, you and I in the baseball. Oh my God. How good was that World Series, Bob? How good was that World Series this year? My gravy. All right, let's do it. Here's my rack. Let's just buy in for, I don't know. Let's just do $1,000. Let's do, let's see. We'll do 1,000. We'll do 500 in black for 500 in black, and we'll do 500 in green. And 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 500 in green. There's the green stack. Here's the, that's all I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need a little bit of green, a little bit of black, and I might need some reds in a minute. Let's do a little bit of horseman. And what I'm going to do today is we're going to transition to the dark side. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to use the horseman to grab more dark side action. A lot of times we just play the horseman straight up. And the horseman, if you don't know, it's simple. It's a 2-unit, 3-unit, or 4-unit don't. You can do 1 if you want to, but I like 2. Doesn't matter, down here, and then it's 3 come bets, right? Why? When the puck is on, we love a 7. pays here, and it pays here. If your bet goes to here, next comeback comes in, you catch a 7 here. This one loses, but that one wins, and these two win. You're still up a couple units, right? If 2 comebacks get set and the third one goes in, and you catch a 7, these 2 will lose, but you still win 3. You're still up a unit on the early 7, right? If all 3 comebacks get set, now you're kind of in the bad spot. You could catch the point being hit, and then it come out 7 and wipe you out. It'll happen. But normally I play it like this, and I'll take my win, right? I'll take my win, and I'll put in the rack, right? And live to fight another day. Today, we're going to show you how to play the horseman where you keep on playing it. So let's go here. I'll make sure my rack is right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. See how important rack management is? I don't even know how much money I've got in the rack because I didn't use my own lammers like a dumbass, right? Here we go. Horseman with a dark side transfer. Here we go. We're going to go to the dark side today. I can show you light side doing it a little bit. Here we go. Coming out. Let's get the Yahtzee dice going here. And we got to come out 10. That's perfection. Right there's the 10. And we'll do our 3 come-bets. There's 1. Actually, I'm going to make these stacks of 5. I should have done that earlier. Stack of 5. 3, 4, 5. All right. There's our next 2 come-bets. Here we go. Looking at getting a 7 or a bunch of numbers to hit. And we got a 6. That goes to the 6. That's good. Next come-bet. And again, 7 comes here. We're up 2 units. It goes to the 10. That's a bummer. Lose or don't. Comeback goes to 10. Puck is off. We don't come back out, but what we can do is go pass line. Make our 3rd comeback a pass line, but we're just going to play the right side. We'll play the right side for now, but I'm still going to try and switch dark if I can. Okay? All right, there's a 5. New point is 5. We have the 5, 6, and 10 working for us. If we catch one of these numbers, we're going to come DC with it. That's going to be the plan here. When I'm in this position, I'll go DC and try and sniff out the 7 on a free bet if I can. There's a 4. Doesn't help us, doesn't hurt us. There's the 7, so we lose all of it. So that was a horseman run. That was the worst possible case. I told you that happens, right? You'll lose your don'ts, you'll lose your comes, and you are what you are. Let's do another round. There's our next 5 units. And here we go. There's 2 units for the don't, 3 units for the comes, and let's see if today's going to be our day or not. Alrighty, there is an 8. There you go. It's an 8. Good call, Greg. It's an 8. Here we go. It's the next comeback. And it goes to the 9. There's a come. It goes to the 10. Not the greatest place for it, but here's our 3rd comeback. We're going to get all of them set again. 2 hands in a row. There's an 11 midnight. That's awesome. Or 11 yo. That gets paid, right? We're going to take this and hang on to it for a minute. Okay. What you could do is stack it, but we're going to take it as a fix from the last. Remember the last time we lost 5 units, right? But we get one of them back. Let's get this guy set. There's a 10. All right. So we have an off and on. So this comes down and gets paid. This one goes to the 10. That's our 3rd comeback. 1 got here. 1 got here. 1 got paid on the 11. We're done with the comebacks, but that win that we just got is coming to the DC. Now we're going to come right through. Okay. So every win that we get will come don't come as we play it out. We'll see how that works out. Little like laundry machine cycle. We got a 7 at the worst possible time. We lose 3, win 2, come out of that hand. There's 5. So we are still down a little ways. We got 2 of our 3 back from the first time. We lost 1 here, so we're down 3 units in total. Let's do another shooter. I'd like to get some comebacks to win during the hand with a don't. I want you to see that part of the transition, but let's go. Let's get her working. 6. All right. There's a 6 for the point. We are going to come with 1. Maybe a quick 7. Get us back and get us back healthy here, huh? 4. Boy, the comebacks are going to bad numbers, aren't they? 7. That's fine. We lose the 4, but you win 1 here and you win 2 here. Let's put the rack back together again. There is 5, 10. Remember, we need, we're looking for 20 green chips, 5, 10, 14. So we're down 6 units still. Give me a thumped a couple times there. Let's rock it again. I got another few minutes. I got about 6, 7 minutes to go before I have to run. Let's get a good outcome here. 5. There's a yo. Love it. Take that back to the rack. There's a 9. That's 1 comeback. There's our second one. That goes to the 6 and our third. We have not gotten the early 7 really. And an 8. Okay, look at that. We got the 6, 8, 9. Perfect. 3 comebacks are set. We have a don't pass on the 5. Now, if we can catch some of these, right, we're going to transition here, or we can transition here as odds. We have choices. Let's go. I'm going to show you this version first if we can get through it. There's an 8. That comes down and gets paid. What happens? I'll take 1 to the rack and run the don't. There's a 6. It goes behind the 6. The 6 comes down and gets paid. I'll put 1 to the rack and we'll rock the don't. There's a 4. It goes behind the 4. Now I got 4 units on the 7 right here. That's about as much as you want. Actually, that's probably too many. You're kind of anti-leverage now. You've got 4, 7. You have 12 ways to lose now, right? Versus just the 6 ways to win. So we're kind of upside down. But we've moved 2 bets through. If we can catch a 9, we'll probably just keep that. Okay. Or I may lean in on this one here. There's the 4. So the 4 gets knocked down. There's a 6. The 6 gets knocked. Boy. How about that? How about some target practice over here, huh? Wow. Midnight. 11. Good time for a 7 here, huh? Give me a 7. Let's get a 9 maybe first, then a 7. There's the 7. We'll lose 1. We'll win 2. And we come out of that in pretty good shape, actually. We got, look at that. We've earned back our bullets. Right, we're just down 4 now. Right, we earned a little bit back. Let's do it again. We have time for 1 more shooter. There's our 5 units. Let's do it 1 more time. 2 on the don't. Never counting 8s to 7. Oh my! What did I do? Never win counting 8s to 7. Did I get a wrong thing in there? I'm sorry. If I got something wrong in the bubble, then it's my fault. I have a little glare where I'm looking at it. I have a glare, so I miss a pip sometimes. All right, points 4. Here we go. Let's have a good run here. That's a 10. Boy, the comebacks are going to the outsides. Give me some inside juice. There's a 6 right there. Last one. And we got a 9. There's the 9 we wanted last time. Again, 3 comebacks set. That's good. Let's knock those down. And we can rock this, or with the point of 4, you might want to hammer the odds down here. Let's do that. We can make that adjustment as we go, right? There's a 9. That's great. That comes down. Pardon me. And gets paid. We'll take it to the rack, but I'm going to take that as nickels and go with a $30 lay. Okay, we'll take our nickels as change. If these get hit too, I'll start stacking up more on this 4. Okay. And there's another 9. Doesn't matter. 6 comes down. Gets paid. I'm going to drop a nickel. We're going to stack those odds up. Now, what I could do with the odds, we have $60 in odds, right? I could start putting some reds on the hard 4, and I may do that with this one. There's a 10. How about that? The 10 comes down and gets paid. Now, I can take that all back to the rack, right? My rack is essentially set. What I'm going to do is take $10, right, and go to the hard 4 with it, which you can't see. It's underneath the thing. So the hard 4 is here. I'll move the rack for now. So that way, there's the $10 on the hard 4. That'll give me $70, which doesn't cover the odds, but it does cover the flat with a little bit of profit. I will not add to this, right? I will not. Actually, I'll take the last nickel. We'll go 15 over here. We'll hammer the hard 4. I could add to this if I wanted to. No need to. I've got enough action out here now on the 7. Now I just rock a 7 or a hard 4. 7 or a hard 4, and I'm good. Just don't want to see a 3-1. There's an 8 hard. That's a 5, a 4, and a 1. 7 out. Perfection. We lose the $15 over there. No big deal. But out here, we're going to get paid our flat. And with $60, we'll get paid 30 on that 4. So the rack comes back, and guess what, folks? There's our starting bankroll. And there is $65 in profit. So we were down into here, into our third tier, right? But working the don't, trusting the don't to work itself out, trusting that don't, it'll come back at some point. It's if you have the bankroll to sustain it, right? Now we never got to our blacks, right? But you can see how that rhythm kind of works. If you take your transitional play from up here, those come bets, when they win, if you rack the flat back, so rebuild your rack from the flat bet action, right? Put your flats back in the rack, use the profit to make a play down here, down here on the don't pass odds, use the profit to come to the don't come. You can also use your profits to go back out and place the numbers. Either way, re-rack your original, use the profit as kind of a hammer. And when the 7 comes, if you use the profit as a hammer, those 3 units in profit, if you happen, like we did this past time, when the 7 comes, that's a clean win, right? Makes it a clean win. I just love how this strategy, it's my favorite thing in the world. The Horseman is my go-to because I have those options, right? Let me get back to the other screen here. Mousy. It is my go-to because I can move it around, right? And if I'm in a whatever, if I'm throwing the dice and I'm just getting started, right? A warm-up toss, that's a great way to play because who knows what's going to happen, right? If you got whatever, if you're just in a down rhythm and you feel like, again, a lot of it's feelings, right? If you're feeling like you want to be dark today or whatever the mood is, go dark with it, right? If, like I say all the time, the past doesn't represent what's going to happen in the future, but if you're seeing a run of dark side stuff going, right? Stay with what's happening. Sometimes that works until it doesn't. The Horseman doesn't care if it's a shit table or a great table. It really doesn't care because if it goes dark, the don't pass will win. And if you stack up on the don't from your wins, you're fine. If it goes light and you took your come bets and made them place bets, you're fine. If you just ride it out and don't do anything, it's going to tie all the time. And you're going to sit there and ride it out until something really cool happens. I've had some of my biggest wins in the last couple of years, believe it or not, from the Horseman, because I can turn those come bets, I can turn them into place bets when they're free and clear, right? That's my opportunity to lean in. And I've leaned into that sometimes and made a really good session out of it. So that's a great way to kind of get going. I should just play more and more come betting, more and more Horseman for you guys, because I think that it's one of those strategies that it's not just the 5 bets. There's so much more to it. And again, it's a wisdom thing. It's a feel thing. It's a where does my money go thing. So there we go. Undisciplined, right? Papa Chops. I have heard Greg is a living, breathing, walking legend. He's one of my best friends of all time. And he's got the wisdom and the Greg method. Maybe we'll do Greg on Friday. Maybe Friday Follies it will just be the Greg way. We'll just do Greg's way of playing Friday Follies. We'll just do it with purple chips. How about that, Greg? We'll do the Greg method with purples on Friday. Sound good? All right, I got to get out of here. We're gonna go to work. I got to go to actually Starbucks for Kathy first. Then I'm gonna head to the day show. Skill, the raffle tickets are turned off right now. I've got it paused. I'm not selling them right now. I'm just I'm rebuilding the sites, so it's all off for right now. I will turn them back on in a little bit. So yeah, for now I'll get them back in a few weeks. We just need to pause. I think it's too much. Alrighty, what's next? The last thing I got to say is my quote of the day, and I know not everybody agrees with this, but it's a smart one, I think. And I think this is again, I try to find quotes that work in gambling and in life as best I can. This is a good one to me. If you bet, and again, this was given to me by one of the old guys smoking, and now I'm the old guy smoking cigars now. Now I'm that guy, but one of the old guys in the hook smoking cigars next to me, who taught me how to play craps when I was very young, and dark side player, of course, right? And he's like, this is what he said to me: bet the same shit every time, you ain't gonna win shit anytime. And he was a big believer, big believer in progressive betting, right? So the progressive betting, I think, is the way to go. You cannot you can't win Monopoly just collecting the $200 on go. You've got to buy stuff, right? I think you got to leverage your wins, and I think that's what he was telling me there. I think in life it's the same thing. So I think in life we have to leverage the wins as well. So move forward. Don't just be content. You got to push the needle. All right. That's my quote of the week. Jen, you missed the earlier part of that. We're going to reopen the raffle. And I said, if we don't hit the reserve, I will match the thing to make the reserve get hit. And then I'll draw a winner from that. So we will have raffle winners, just not today. Again, I said I would match the reserve. I can't match it right now, but I will be able to. We'll reopen them. We'll spin up and try and come into like a little bit of a home stretch with those things. If we don't get it, I'll cover the difference, and then we'll draw the winner. So winners will be drawn, just not today. And that's what's going on. All right. So you guys have a great, is it hump day? Oh my God, it's hump day. Boy, this app release is sneaking up on me. It's coming so soon. I'm working every night, 1-2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm very tired. If I'm slurring and stumbling my words, that's why I apologize for that. But anyway, love y'all. God bless everybody. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.